This episode is brought to you by Nordstrom. Spring calls for a wardrobe refresh, and Nordstrom has the best styles of the season. From dresses and denim to standout tops and accessories, find the trends and essentials that feel right for you. Discover new arrivals from brands you love like Wave, Princess Polly, Mango, Adidas, and Free People. Plus, free shipping and returns and free styling appointments make everything so easy. Shop in stores at Nordstrom.com or download the Nordstrom app.
War Eagle, and welcome to another edition of Everett Podcast. This is our show where we get together with you in audio format to catch you up on the latest Auburn news, topics, discussions, things that you need to be aware of when you're trying to be out and about, discussing, sharing the Auburn experience. To us, that's all about Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff. The easier way to say it, though, if it's orange and blue, it's what we do. So thank you so much for joining us on what we're going to be doing here, episode 91 of Everett Podcast on today's date, March 13th. Just realized it is Friday the 13th. Wow, just hit me that. Anyway, moving on from that, I'm your host, as always, Kyle Loomis, to catch you up on all these different things. We're going to walk you through, yes, a lot of sports stuff, the different things going on this past week leading up to Friday, the news and things that you need to be aware of there. And then we'll, at the end of the time together, catch you up on, or get you ready, I should say, for the weekend ahead for Auburn sports stuff. There will be some other things besides sports mixed in there, as there always is, but you know the drill here. Auburn fans love their sports, and that's what we try to keep a lot of the focus on when we can here, like it's a struggle or something. Okay, let's jump into it. We're going to switch around the order in which we've been doing this for a little while, trying out something a little bit new. We're going to put the most active session of, or I guess I should say season of sports in there right now, which would be the spring sports. We've ordered them as spring, winter, fall sports, and then ones that basically go throughout the whole year in different formats, kind of, whether it's indoor seasons or things like that. You'll get the drift, and then some other things to round out the show. Anyway, enough of the boilerplate stuff at the beginning of the show. Let's jump into it. We'll start with baseball. Obviously, a lot of topics around baseball these days. Really excited about that. Let's kind of get you going here. SEC Pitcher of the Week honor for Jackson Sanders was the first news item of the week for his performance last weekend. And obviously, if you watched him in Game 2, you know why he got that. So honor for him. I believe that would be his first of the week, or first of the year. It feels like every week there's a player or pitcher of the week for Auburn baseball in some regards, so it's kind of getting difficult to keep track of them at this particular point, but congrats to him. Auburn is currently, in this week, a consensus now top 6 team. We talked about them for a lot being top 7 teams, but in all 5 of the main rankings, yes, there are 5, they are now a consensus top 6. In fact, only one of the rankings has them as 6. All the others have them as 5. So it's almost a consensus top 5. So I think now if you want to go by the law of averages, you can say Auburn's a top 5 team, but definitely a consensus top 6 team for Auburn baseball, and very much deserving. So based off of how they've been performing. Speaking of performing, they had a midweek game versus UAB. Always want to take these things seriously, especially against Casey Dunn and UAB. They did. Run rule, 17-2. Was very shocked by that. I thought there would be a little bit more of a fight out of UAB than that. But that's what happens when you run up against a basically top 5, consensus top 5 team almost. So there's that. Another honor for someone was announced this week in the pitcher realm. Marciano was put on a watch list, as many do these time of year, as they're starting to kind of get some bodies of work to go off with for particular players. The College Baseball Foundation National Pitcher of the Year watch list for Mr. Marciano. So congrats to Jake there for him. We'll see how long he stays on that particular list, if he does at all. The weekend rotation is also out there right now, too, if you're interested. It's not really any change. It's the same as it's been. Marciano. Wow, I got all choked up about that for a second there for some reason because I love it so much. Marciano, Sanders, and Petrovic. And no reason to change it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the motto we should go by. Softball, the other side of the diamond sports, starting to pick up a little bit of steam with their series win over Kentucky last weekend. They have now moved up to number 24 in Softball America. So ranked. I can't remember if they reached a ranking last time. I feel like they did. So nice to see in year 2 for the Malvos, them getting back to that if they did already. I think that is the case. Honors for the week in softball, S.J. Guerin. She was named to the Softball America Stars of the Week list. I'm assuming it's a list, and why? Because of her performance last weekend. She got 2 SEC wins in the same day. Of course, that'll get you on that type of list for Stars of the Week if you do that in SEC competition in softball. We'll move over to some of the winter sports now. Men's basketball, and I know there's going to be a lot of some sad things on here, but we got more things than just how things ended to talk about here. Congratulations to Keyshawn Hall, who made it to the SEC third team when SEC play, regular season play, had wrapped up. Not shocked that he made it on a list. I think there were some hopes that he'd be a little bit higher when the season started, but either way, it's still an honor. He makes the third team All-SEC list. A little bit of a controversy. So this isn't so much news as just scuttlebutt and rumors that are out there. Most of you have seen this story about Queens head coach lamenting about, and he did not name them, but an SEC team having one of their coaches get a courtside or very close seat to watch one of their games in their conference tournament. And apparently they're a little worried because apparently it was Auburn. Not seen 100% confirmed who that was, but there's been some discussions about, is that okay? I hate to break it to folks. This is what happens when you go to the transfer portal. Coaches go see other players as long as there's no tampering. That's where things are still above board. But if you've seen that floating around, some people tried to run with it this week and make it, get a rise out of you, and some of you let it win. So don't do that. It's just another one of these things people are trying to blow up into something bigger than it actually is. Back to the substance and stuff in basketball, men's basketball. SEC tournament obviously started out great. Versus Mississippi State, revenge game for Auburn, revenge game for Keyshawn Murphy, and he got it. 79-61, the Tigers won in the first round. Moving on, helping themselves in their postseason conversation pieces that they're out there. The problem is the next game versus Tennessee. Not only were they in the lead for much of the game, they went on one of the worst runs I've seen in quite some time. 19-0 Tennessee went. And it was like a 7-minute stretch of Auburn not scoring anything, and Tennessee ends up winning 72-62 to knock Auburn out of the SEC tournament. And that's frustrating. We'll wait and see what happens with their postseason hopes in a couple of days. Women's basketball stuff, they've already been wrapped up for a little bit here, but they announced a couple of things this week, which I think are important for us to bring up to the forefront here. They announced their average attendance was 3,563 on this season, which makes it the second highest average attendance all time, a program record at Neville Arena. So nice little mark for Larry Vickers to point towards his recruiting and stuff like that. The enthusiasm is building for Auburn women's basketball only in his first year. This isn't so much about the team, but someone that is very important, not only to Auburn women's basketball, but to Auburn athletics, and that is Susan the Nun Nunley. She just celebrated 50 years of being the PA announcer, calling the games for women's basketball. I mean, think about that, doing the same thing for 50 years. She's someone who has dedicated herself to Auburn athletics, to Auburn women's sports in a variety of ways, and this is just one small way that you can recognize and honor her. She is truly an Auburn legend, so congrats to Susan Nunley for 50 years of calling the game. They put out a nice graphic.
Get in the game with the college-branded Venmo debit card. Wreck your team with every tap and earn up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash, a new rewards program from Venmo. No monthly fee, no minimum balance, just school pride and spending power. Get in the game and sign up for the Venmo debit card at venmo.com/collegecard. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. Select schools available. Venmo Stash terms and exclusions apply at venmo.me/stash terms. Max $100 cash back per month.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like thinking your crush messaged you back, but it's just your roommate asking for rent. You wouldn't settle for a disappointing DM, so don't settle for just any insurance. When it comes to getting the help you need, State Farm is a real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For her this week. All right, men's golf. Boy, you thought they couldn't do much better at the way they've already started? They said, here, hold my honor. I messed that one. Why can I not say it? Arnold Palmer. See, I leave this stuff in for you guys so that you can at least have some humor to laugh at me. Hold my Arnold Palmer. I'm going to stop. I'm hurting myself here. To the news of men's golf, the Haskins Award watch list just came out for the spring side of things. And, of course, Jackson Koivun is on it. He was going to be on it, but only adding to why he should be on it this week, he and the Auburn Tigers come back and get a win at the Hyatt this past weekend, essentially. They carried on into the beginning of the week, too. But he ends up as the individual champion of the tournament, which just continues to build his resume of this year so far, which at this point has become just light work for him. But Auburn also, the team, came back from behind and finished that one just 2 ahead of number 11, Texas Tech, to win the Hyatt. So what a great week for individuals and for the team. Speaking of, they were rewarded in the scoreboard rankings. Auburn men's golf moved up to number 1. And then, of course, SEC Golfer of the Week, Jackson Koivun. Duh. Again, these are things that are obvious at this point with those type of individual performances. That shouldn't shock you. All right, over to tennis side of things. In men's tennis, a couple of rankings to update you on. The ITA rankings have men's tennis currently at number 18. But if you like 18, you'll like 16 because UTR has them at number 16. So they're continuing to move up there. And we're not done with the rankings because our ladies, they are a team you need to be paying attention to if you're not already. They just reached a program milestone, broke a record for the highest ITA, the main rankings that people pay attention to, in program history, reaching number 3 overall. They were rumored to be competitive for a national title this year. This should prove it to you at this point, making it to number 3 for the first time in program history. Congratulations to Coach Zabo and the ladies for reaching that honor in this year. And they added on to it this week, a great week already, with a win over Tennessee, number 11, I believe, Tennessee, beating them 4-1. So great week for them as well. Track and field, right now they're in the middle of, or about to start, the indoor championships, and that means all the SEC stuff is wrapped up. So there was an honor this year for the SEC Male Runner of the Year is an Auburn Tiger, and that is Mr. Ajayi. And I always butcher his first name, but Ajayi is your SEC Male Runner of the Year. Wanted to recognize him here for what he's done, just only in indoor competition. Thus far, still outdoor to go. A little quick volleyball note here for one of our coaches, an associate head coach, Jack Burton. He is named to the AVCA 30 under 30 list. So that should tell you the pedigree of coaches that are on staff here at Auburn Volleyball. A couple more things here. This is general athletics news and topics for you to be aware of. The Ambush Series, if you know what that is, it's where they go around in the summer with most of the major head coaches of sports, of football and men's basketball and others as well. Athletic director oftentimes comes. But they've announced the list of that for this upcoming spring and into summer as well. They're going to be going to Dallas, to Houston, Montgomery, Nashville, Destin, Birmingham, Lake Martin, Tampa, hitting a lot of spaces. Interesting they're going to Tampa, given where Coach Galesh is coming from. But Stephen Pearl will be there, Alex Galesh will be there, and many others they have yet to announce on that. And the tickets, I believe, went on sale even today or yesterday. So go check that out if that's coming to you. Again, that's Dallas, Houston, Montgomery in this order, Nashville, Destin, Birmingham, Lake Martin, Tampa. You can go check all that out. Auburn Tigers /Ambush if you want to get the dates and ways to get the tickets. It's an opportunity for you to get to know Auburn a little bit better. Now, into the pros. As you know, baseball is getting going at the pro level, and there are plenty of Auburn Tigers currently well-established in the pros, but there are some rising names that you should probably be aware of that Auburn wants you to at least be aware of. Let me just some names you probably know. Ike Irish with the Baltimore Orioles. You've got Hayden Mullins with the Red Sox. You've got Mason Barnett with the Oakland A's, or the A's now, I guess as they're called. Cam Tilley with the New York Mets. Sam Dutton with the A's as well. And then for you Braves fans, remember, Blake Burkhalter is over there with the Atlanta Braves. Another reason to be a Braves fan if you are. I'm excited to give this one here, this shout out. Chaney Johnson, I love me some Chaney Johnson, got the debut with the Brooklyn Nets. And it was in later time for the most part, but his first 2 buckets came in his NBA debut. And to be honest, if you haven't seen him, especially that first highlight, it's pretty impressive. And it's very reminiscent of what Chaney did when he was here. So definitely go check out Chaney Johnson in his first debut as a NBA guy with a nice little reverse. I'm watching it right now, NBA layup. Love me some Chaney Johnson, so I wanted to give him a shout-out. And another cool little shout-out of a women's tennis alumnus, Ariana Arancelet, as if I'm pronouncing that correctly, probably not. But she won a singles crown in the ITF W15. So congrats to her as an Auburn in the pros announcement there. Too. Lastly here, the things that I didn't mention in our normal just rundown of things, football, spring ball will be starting next week, so there will be some stuff about that, I'm sure. And then in university news, it's been spring break week, so students have been gone. If you live in Auburn or have been to Auburn, it's probably been very quiet. It's about to get not quiet anymore, so welcome back to the students. Hope you enjoyed your spring break and didn't get into too much trouble. Let's wrap up here with your look ahead for the weekend in Auburn calendar events, mainly sports stuff here, but if there's ever anything else, we'll make you aware of it when we can. It's going to be a little bit more compact than it has been last couple weeks, but this is for Friday the 13th, Saturday the 14th, Sunday the 15th to get you going. Men's tennis on Friday at Vanderbilt. Track and field NCAA indoors will be for the next 2 days in Fayetteville at Arkansas. They usually end up hosting this thing. Softball will begin their series at at Oklahoma. I had that correct. Baseball at Missouri. So both of those teams are away this weekend. But gymnastics will be hosting Missouri in what will be their final home meet of the particular week. Saturday, women's tennis will also be taking on Kentucky. Softball again with Oklahoma, baseball with Missouri, and then on Sunday, men's tennis at Kentucky. A lot of Kentucky, a lot of Missouri, if you haven't noticed that. Softball at Oklahoma in their final game. Baseball at Missouri in their final game. And don't forget, Selection Sunday. I know it feels a little bit trepidatious for Auburn men's basketball March Madness hopes, but you never know. And there's also an opportunity for potential NIT bids if that is something they desire to do as well. So still something to pay attention to on March Madness Selection Sunday. You guys have been awesome. Those of you that stuck it out to the end, and we always hope that you find value and sometimes humor when I do these shows, as I often leave my little shenanigans in here too. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want some feedback or things like that to give it to us, email's a great option, e2cnetwork@gmail.com, or DMs on social media. Those are usually open on most venues, so check those out. But we do appreciate you being here and being part of our little family within the Auburn family. As we go, I want to remind you the Auburn Creed asks you to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. We ask you to do the same thing. War Eagle.